Hello and welcome back to the Macca's Talk Hockey podcast, the podcast where me and my brother Charlie and Dan, and today we've got Andrew talk about the National Ice Hockey League, the league we love and enjoy. And we've got a long episode for you guys. We've got a breakdown, we've got a review the semi-final and how the Romford Raiders have made the National Cup final. I don't think anyone saw that coming at the start of the season. We then going to review all the games as well from this weekend. And then we've got a special interview which we're recording in about 40 minutes' time with Oli Endicott ahead of their semi-final, the Leeds Knights against the Sheffield Steel Dogs. So a jam-packed episode for everyone to listen to. Charlie, you've popped on at the start. Obviously, he's been away for the last two episodes, and he's been in Copenhagen and Budapest. So I'll let you talk a bit more about. I know you wanted to say something, and then you're going to let me, Dan, and Andrew review the weekend.
Yeah, I can't really review the weekend, but my week persisted of my kind of I have a YouTube channel called Macca Explores, which is where I travel the world. And I went to Copenhagen and Budapest, explored the culture, explored Christmas markets. Budapest was rated 2024's best Christmas market of the year. Copenhagen as well. And yeah, I'm currently working quite hard to get vlogs out. So I've got a vlog coming out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Monday. They're all Christmassy themed. They're really fun, and yeah, it was a great trip. And it was nice to see Romford got through as well. But if you want to see my vlogs, please check them out on Macca Explores on Instagram or YouTube. And yeah, before I go, TJ Anderson, he is the GOAT. What a guy. Putting the team on his back in Milton Keynes. I love seeing that. I've been bigging him up for ages. And yeah, 4 point weekend. Malas is cooking. Good night.
Well, yeah, very detailed from
What an
Charlie, but
idiot.
yeah, we'll get on to it now because there wasn't too much news. And we had the bans. I don't really want to go into it too much. Obviously, Morris got a 7 game ban in total, adding them all up. Kieran Brown got a game. Boesa didn't get a game from the high stick. I do just want to quickly touch on it because he did end up scoring the overtime winner against Swindon the game after, which maybe should have been banned for. Dan, do you think that was probably the worst one this season, maybe, that the Dops have missed?
Yeah, I think especially in that game as well. I think
Yeah.
they were sort of calling everything in that game, and I don't really see how they can look at that one and not really call it. But I suppose if you do look at it in one way, it can look a bit accidental. But at the same time, obviously Kelly did go off injured, so
Yeah.
it's one of them ones.
I think if you've got your stick, it can be used as a weapon as well. Whether he meant to hit him in the head or not, he did mean to swing it. And it hit Kelly in the head. And you have to be in control of your stick at all times. So I think that should have been a ban in my opinion. I'm not just saying that because he scored the overtime winner. I think Leeds deserved it in the end. It was a great game, but it's happened a couple of times now in this league. Not just Swindon. Obviously, Chamberlain probably should have been sent off. He went on to score 4 goals. There's going to be mistakes. I completely get that. But hey, we've got to own up to these mistakes. And I think that was one in that game. So enough talked about Dops because we got some real good news for Romford Raiders fans. And Andrew, I know you were loving it on the Thursday. Me and Dan loved how good of a game it was. The Romford Raiders went 3-0 down in Milton Keynes, the toughest place to go to on an away game, and they scored 5 unanswered goals to get through to the finals of the cup. Andrew, try and sum it up. Obviously we'll go through the game, but did you see that coming after MK took a 3-0 lead and a 2 goal lead in the tie?
Yeah, I mean, MK came out well.
Yeah.
Got the crowd against behind them, and then obviously Venus got his own hat trick
Yeah.
to begin with. Basically, they scored just over 4 minutes to go. Venus came out, that got it level, and they were just running the show pretty well in the first period. Was ending 2-0, and then they started worrying when they scored quite early again in the second, but it
Yeah.
was pretty well game or two off, you could say, because then like I think it was TJ that we got a penalty, yeah, power play, and TJ obviously got back into it then, and another goal just before sort of the second period, which got it back. I think the level and the tie, and then
It
a
was all to play for in the third.
third, yeah, yeah, and then yeah, TJ came out and just like took like pretty much straight away and just like took through players on by himself and just got a brilliant goal pass there, and then they kept the pressure on, and Sylvester got one, and then so, I mean MK did try and get back into it, but Raiders kept them at bay basically, and then obviously it was a short sorry, I think it was empty net, wasn't it? The
Ashley
last one,
Jackson.
Jackson got were like bouncing off the board basically, and to
Yeah, it
get
took
that
a
in
weird
and stuff.
bounce.
So yeah, but yeah, yeah, when they were 3-0 down, I think a lot of people thought MK at their own place, they're gonna like the large rink, they get and the speed they've got, they're just gonna break them down. And yeah, as Dan said, he's one to watch them. James made some decent, so especially still in that first period as well. Actually, when
Yeah.
they were, well, I just keep Raiders in it. But yeah, I'll take a little bit of credit myself. I said TJ was one to watch, and he turned the tide pretty
He
well.
was the man. I think when when Milton Keynes went 3-0 up, Dan, you said one thing to me in the period break. It wasn't a 3-0 domination. That they weren't dominating 3-0. They were clinical, Milton Keynes. They did what they didn't do in that first leg. Ross Venus missed a few chances in that first leg, which, if he was given any other game, he's going to bury, and he did exactly that. He got that hat trick. But Romford did have opportunities, and that line specifically, TJ and Sylvester seemed to create a lot. Them two, that's probably the best I've seen them play together. They got a lot of space. They used the big ice well. Obviously, Sylvester's got really good hands. TJ's got really good hands, and it finally came. They got their power play opportunity, and we did say in the review of the first leg that Romford struggled a bit on the power play. They couldn't quite break them down, but I thought they changed it up. They got pucks on net, and it paid dividends, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think you go into MK, and obviously people are talking about obviously the rink size and stuff like that. And I think Romford obviously they use that into their advantage as well. I think they sort of you saw players like TJ and Sylvester obviously have, like you say, have got the good hands, and they use the space that they had. And obviously it means they can get a bit more free, they can get a bit more open for the pass, and especially obviously going onto the power play, there's a lot more space on that ice. And you really saw Romford were trying to sort of match what MK were doing. And you obviously what MK are going to do in their own rink. You see them cycling around like it's just easy, like they've been doing it forever. And Romford, they just like you said, they kept themselves in the game. They didn't get dominated. They didn't get hemmed in their zone. Every time they got into the zone of MK, they were getting shots off, getting shots on goal. And I mean, in the first period, MK were just keeping them really wide. But you saw as the game went on, they sort of started to catch on to that and sort of started to change the way they entered the zone. And yeah, I think it was just really good coaching on the Romford end.
Yeah. Just again, Milton Keynes getting that lead, and we've seen it a lot this season. Normally, they're all right in their home rink. They're able to just kill games off, play their own way. But Romford just found a way to just creep back into the game. And I said before the whole tie that I think it will be Sean Miller and Schufelt who will decide whether Romford do it. And don't get me wrong, they were really good on that game. They did what they needed to do, but it was TJ Anderson with the best game I've ever seen him play. That next goal in the third period was the crucial one. Obviously tied at one. Who was going to break the deadlock first? And it was just a shock, wasn't it? 54 seconds in, it was a 1-on-4. There's no way TJ should be getting through four players. Like, I don't know if people have watched and have seen that goal by McDavid where he goes through about three or four New York Rangers players and then slots it in. It's not as skilled as that, sorry TJ, but he does dangle past two of the D men and backhands it straight through Headley. I don't think Headley expected him to get through in the first place. If I'm MK, just throw the body. And I think we've seen it a lot. I know you can sometimes get penalties for it, but Andrew, I think they should have just thrown the body and just took him out of the play. But they let him do the skills which we know TJ can do, and in the end, it was a lovely finish, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but probably the best goal of the time, maybe probably for me anyway. And yeah, it's again one reason why game man player to watch. But yeah, he'll take anyone on. Yeah, he's got the skills, great talent, and he's not afraid to take anything on. And like you said, I think that was a big turning point in the game, the momentum, because obviously MK, well, both teams have gone in, had their team talks and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're probably told to keep it tight or whatever and stuff and things, and then changes the game for both teams.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think MK thought, okay, we can control this third, which they have done pretty much every game this season, Dan, and it did shock them, didn't it? I don't want to say it, but they didn't do what they did for the first half of the game. They didn't play as a team, and they started playing as individuals. And 4 minutes later, Sylvester snipes one top corner. You can't give him that space, and he flings it straight past Headley. Like he's got one of the best shots in the league, and 2 goals down. Even when they had the power plays, I know Ethan James made some really good saves, but just didn't look like the same MK team in that first half of the game, didn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. But Romford, we know, are a team that obviously grow into games as
Mm.
well. If they can keep themselves within distance throughout the game, then there's always a chance that they can turn it around.
Yeah.
And obviously, what we were saying is with that big goal in the first leg, that to give them the 1 goal lead was actually really important going into this game in the end. Um, but yeah, in that third period, obviously you got those 2 quick goals, and I think it was really important for Romford to do that because MK already had their heads down anyway from that early goal, and then obviously to concede another one, it's just sort of in their own rink. They're not used to that, and I think it's just like it was in the interview, like you said, like they did just turn into sort of individuals, and they didn't really have a plan. You know what I mean? It didn't
Yeah.
look like they had an idea of what to sort of do. And Romford were just rolling. Like they're a team that once they get momentum, they're just going to keep rolling the lines, keep the full check up, strong D. Ethan James was on fire in the third period. It didn't look like he was going to let a goal in. And I think as a team, Romford just came together in that third period and just made sure they sealed that game.
Yeah. I think Ethan James saved 49 out of 52 shots on the night. Just as you said, Andrew, it was 3-0. Max Stewart raced away, and that was probably a big turning point. He saved that shot against Max Stewart, and then Raiders got a power play and took full opportunity. And fair play to him because we know how hard it is to go to Milton Keynes. I think a lot of people thought, okay, MK are going to get this back. Yes, Lawrence was out for Milton Keynes, but I think that was evened up with obviously Yokohama getting that ban and not being able to play for Romford. So both teams playing with 2 imports. Spatterford didn't do anything silly in that second leg, but I didn't really notice him too much. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with him in the fans forum, and we'll talk about the incident in the game on Sunday. But yeah, just individual brilliances from TJ and Jake, and a defensive shutdown, I think, from Romford, who just fair play to him. And shout out to the Romford fans as well. On a Thursday night, I know there was so much troubles on the motorways. Alif got there during the first period, so he hadn't even warmed up. And I thought he had a really good game as well. And Romford sold out, I think, that away block. So fair play to the Romford fans. Yeah, it was just an unbelievable game. I did not see it coming at 3-0, and they deserved it as well. There was a few penalties in the game, but I thought it was fairly balanced for both teams. But it wasn't the penalties which decided it. There was 4 5-on-5 goals for Romford, and yeah, fair play to him. I do want to say Venus is absolutely disgusting. He is so good. Not disgusting in like a horrible way. He is too good for this league. Like he is a joke when he's on it. And he obviously got that hat trick, so you can't fault Venus. But yeah, Anything else to add, Andrew, on that one? I think we've covered a lot of it.
I think we pretty well summed it up. Just looking forward to see who wins the next one, if it's Sheffield or Leeds, and should be a good final.
Yeah, should be a cracker. We get to go back to Romford, Dan. I do prefer sitting in that Romford crowd, I'm not gonna lie, than the Milton Keynes one. It's just there's something about sitting in that Romford stand. A bit like Swindon, they've only got one side with the stand, but they that game is going to be loud. Where I think whether Leeds pick them to play in Romford the first leg or Sheffield picked them to play in the first leg or the second leg. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I like that it's kind of two different semi-final times. They weren't played at the same time because you get to kind of see four hockey games in 4 weeks now. So yeah, that's the review of the final. Congratulations to Romford. As I said, I don't think anyone had them even making that top four, let alone the final of the cup. So fair play to him. Credit to Adam Laysham. Credit to the assistant. I've forgotten his name. What's his name, Andrew?
Lewis Jones.
Lewis Jones. Credit to him. And yeah, let's get into the weekend then. And we start with the Friday game. And I know I watched it on the stream. I don't know if you watched it, Dan.
No, I didn't
You
watch
didn't
it.
watch it,
No.
but I know you did as well, Andrew. The Sheffield Steel Dogs taking the lead. I think they went 2-1 up in the first period. And then the Peterborough Phantoms just battled straight back into it. And they ended up winning 6-3, Andrew. And it was Cam Huff for me, who was the standout player, obviously getting 2 goals in the game. Lackinen getting 5 assists. Ferrara got 4 points as well. Just that top line just using the big ice pad. And they made the Steel Dogs pay, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. First period, yeah, still looks were probably the best. I remember when there was a fight as well, I think, between
Yeah, Gretton.
Gretton and Sam Cooper
Cooper
and
held his
stuff.
own, to be fair.
Yeah. So it was reasonably close. Obviously, yeah, so I think still got a power play goal near the end of it, which you thought gave them a chance. I thought they could control it, but no, Phantoms just came out and had a really good second and third, and yeah, there was a couple of quick goals around the 28th minute. There's just it's that top line you
Yeah.
just mentioned. It's at
They just
Ferraro,
scored two
Lackinen, and
two in a
Inagu, and
minute, and it was from
yeah,
2-1 to 3-2 up.
yeah, and that was that's where it changed. You could see the momentum change and stuff, and Phantoms just came through it and stuff, and I think yeah, when
They
they
deserved it.
scored the they deserved it, and when they scored the first and the third, you thought yeah, that's probably they're gonna win that, and they did.
Yeah, I think shout out to Callum Bouglass. I thought he had a really good game. He jumped up in the play as well for that sixth goal to put the cherry on top. So a big win for Peterborough and Sheffield, which kind of stops Sheffield's run at their place. Um, Sorry, my phone's just gone spazzing. So we'll go into the next game, and I do believe it was the Swindon Wildcats against the Hull Seahawks. Now I was at the game, but I was helping with the stream. So I was up in the stream and I was watching all the replays and controlling that. So that was fun. But Dan, you were rinkside with Dad. And it was a really, really good game, actually. Both teams getting 39 shots each in the end. But on a whole, again, that third period, the Wildcats now have started to be able to control that third period and shut games off. And we had a bit of problems with it at the start of the season, just trying to get used to it, the system we play, and shutting games down. But that third period, 3 quick fire goals, and it just killed the game off, didn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It was a really good game. I actually did quite enjoy it. There was a lot of action.
Yeah,
First period, just sort of both teams were just cancelling each other out. And I was saying, like down in the corner, I was saying that as soon as that first goal goes in, the game will open up.
yeah.
Because obviously it's just natural for that to happen. Um, but I mean, yeah, I think everyone sort of did their bit for Swindon. I thought the D was really really strong. Even Bradley was out.
Yeah.
So they obviously had a few guys that were double shifting sometimes, and I felt everyone was in D was really really solid. Um, Hull when they're going aren't an easy team to
Oh,
defend.
they hem you in, don't they?
And yeah, they've got some really, really talented forwards, and I thought Swindon are really good at obviously holding them to obviously only a few goals. Um, but I think the issue where Hull had was they were obviously both teams were cancelling each other out, and then Swindon took that 3-2 lead, and then that was when it was sort of it was getting a bit to the later end of the game, and Hull was sort of starting to throw things forward as you do.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, what they do with that is you're literally relying on scoring at that moment. And if you don't score, then there's a high chance that obviously Swindon could score. And then Reed Sayers went through on a breakaway and obviously got that goal. And from then on, it didn't look like Swindon were going to lose that.
No,
And
they know how to kill games off now, don't they?
exactly. And it's like, it's good if it pays off if you throw everything forward and you get that goal to obviously equalise it. But you're also running the risk of obviously giving away the whole game. And that's what happened in that game.
Yeah, it was one of them where we scored at 52-12 on the power play. There's still 7.5 minutes to go. That's so much time to get a goal. And when Hull got in the zone, I thought they were really good at keeping the pressure on. As you said, I think they rushed it a little bit, and I think that both D men jumped in on the play, which left a real big gap. And Glenn Billen, he's so smart, isn't he? He knew that there was going to be a gap and just pinged it straight through the middle to Reed Sayers. And credit Reed, he took his time, put it on his backhand, and it just beat Jordan McLaughlin. And then Britnell put the icing on top. But I agree with you, Dan. I thought the defence was excellent. I thought when you're stopping Sobchak from not, he didn't even get a single point. When you've stopped Sobchak getting a point and he's got 62 in 27 this season, you know that the defense has done a good job. And Ryan Miles, like, oh my days, he is just, oh my days, he's the best D man I've seen at this level. Full stop. He is that's Hull. Just to put it in perspective, sorry, we're talking about this a lot, but Hull were breaking away two on one. Two, I think it was second. Was it Sobchak? And Ryan Wells
Yeah.
was the only D man coming back. Ryan does the jump towards the spec and just takes the puck away. Like he times it to perfection. And yeah, we're just so lucky to have him. I thought a shout
And
out to Sam Godfrey as well. Obviously, stepping up to top line to play with Ryan without Ed, and obviously you're going to play well next to Ryan, but you've still got the rest of that top line with Svek and Chamberlain to shout out. And when you're keeping hold to just 2 goals, yeah, you're going to have a great chance to win. And yeah, it's another big win on home ice.
and also a shout out to McLaughlin for an
Yeah.
unbelievable save. Slid across the goal and blocked it into the bar.
Yeah, I don't know how he
I
saved
think
that.
a lot of people thought it went in, but yeah, it was an unbelievable save. So that's 2 highlight reel saves in 2 weeks for me so far.
And then on to the game you streamed, Andrew. It was the first of a double header, and the Leeds Knights eventually got over the line. It did take them a while for them to get that teddy bear toss goal right before the end of the second period. And it seemed like the Romford Raiders were in this game. It seemed like they hung on. But as they do, Leeds Knights just got the job done at home. And I've seen the goal, Andrew. Just a piece of brilliance from Matt Cowlett, and you know what he can do when he gets the wheels going, taking it past a couple players and finding the net. So yeah, what did you make of the whole game?
I thought, yeah, Raiders were in it for definitely the first couple of periods. Yeah, I'd probably say Knights might have just edged it a little bit on probably chances and
Yeah,
stuff, but when they went one up, Miller scored, you thought, well, maybe, and then there'd been no penalties until that one right at the end of the second as well,
yeah.
which I thought. I'm not sure why you're calling that compared to some of the other stuff that gone earlier and stuff, but hey ho, Leeds made the most of it and leveled it up, which I think that was a big turning point there. Obviously, going in
It
1-1,
changes the team talk, doesn't it?
yeah, so that's definitely helped them. Um, then they came out. There was a one Leeds penalty, which was not much Raiders on that really, and yeah, as soon as Mac Howlett scored that nice goal, it was like Leeds were really in charge and stuff. I mean, Raiders tried the best, tried to get back into it, but um, it was decent performance from both teams to be fair. But
I think it.
yeah,
I think it sounded like. I think Romford. they did all they could on that Saturday, and I think maybe they tired legs. They've just played um, two games, obviously at the weekend, then that Thursday game, and then they've got to go up to Leeds to play that game as well. And it's so hard to keep going for 60 minutes in Leeds just to keep them to a couple goals, isn't it?
Yeah, I do wonder if they were trying to win, maybe even at that one because Brown and Bracer weren't playing
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and stuff. They kept it a lot closer in that one than the one the next day. But yeah, they could could easily tie it out with like you said Thursday and the long trip and stuff. So but no, they put up a good fight and yeah, on paper you'd probably expect at least to win anyway.
Yeah, the Knights get the job done. To be fair, they fair play to them though. As you said, they did do it without Brown and Buesa, two quite prolific scorers. The next double header, we'll brush over these. I know we might want to talk a bit about it, Dan, but the Bees going up to Solway, and let's just say Gardiner had a goal fest that weekend, making the most of the short bench Bees. 5 goals on the Saturday and then a hat trick on the Sunday as well. So 8 goals, 0 assists. Just absolutely tearing up the goal department. But Bees, fair play to him again. Going up to Solway, what a 5-6 hour trip. Dean Skins as the starter, who's what, 45 years old, Dan? Or so, he's got to be late 40.
Something around there. Yeah,
He's got to be in his 40.
we
Let me have
we
a
might have offended him there.
Oh, sorry, 40 years old. So he is
Ah,
in his 40s. Obviously, Max Wright didn't travel, and then Bees have 4 D men and 7 forwards. It's just, it's so tough, isn't it? They did, they did try, obviously getting a few goals. Will Stead, he's banging them in at the moment. He got two on the Saturday. I think he got two on the Sunday, or a hat trick on the Sunday. But
doing a hat
yeah,
trick on Sunday.
you expect Solway to win both of them, especially with the Bees short bench and how good Solway are. And hey, from a Solway perspective, you can only play what's in front of you, and they got the job done. Swindon have tripped up on it. MK nearly tripped up on it as well. I know the Bees didn't have Max right, but you know what I mean. And they get the 4 points, and with Telford dropping the points on the Saturday, it's another 2 points gained on Telford as well, and I think they're a few points ahead of them in this playoff battle. So it was a must-win 4 point weekend for Solway, and they got those 4 points. So fair play to the Solway boys. And yeah, it just
I,
again, it's tough for the Bees, isn't it, Dan? And
yeah,
the skaters.
yeah. I mean, obviously it is tough, but I mean for Solway. You got some boys there. You got Caruth. You got a goal on
Yeah,
both nights. It's a game for those sort of boys that need a bit of confidence. Obviously, Solway can run a few lines. They can use it as sort of like I don't know, the sort of just playing around with a few bits because they've had a few weekends where they've been a bit inconsistent.
yeah,
And I think this weekend they could probably this is their best chance to sort of work on things and see what they're doing wrong and stuff like that. And obviously, like I say, gain a bit of confidence for the boys that sort of needed those goals. Like Caruth, I know has been obviously wanting that goal, and he's finally got off his back, and he obviously carried over to the next night and got another one. So you never know if he gets that chance again in the top six like he has been. You know, he might be getting a few more goals in weekends to come. So it could be
yeah.
a good weekend for Solway in that department.
Yeah, Hepburn got a game on Sunday as well, which is nice to see. I like it when backups get a go. But yeah, 4 point weekend. So we won't talk about the second game because again it was similar. I think the Bees put up a better fight actually, and really improved on the night before in terms of conceding goals. Well, they only let Gardner score 3 that game, so um, the Saturday then, Bristol against Sheffield. Again, I think Sheffield they needed to win that game. Obviously dropping 2 points at home on the Friday. I think it would have been the message, right? We need to go to Bristol, get a big 2 points, and they did do that. And it was quite a dominant performance. If we're looking at the stats, obviously I wasn't there, but they limited Bristol to just 26 shots in their own barn, which I actually think is very good. Because I think Bristol been getting 30 to 40 shots every home game this season, and they had 42 of their own. So Napier did have actually quite a good game, saving 38 out of the 42. But yeah, the big boys of Sheffield coming up tops, Nordstrom getting a goal, Sommer getting 4 across the weekend, Halfor's getting a couple as well. So yeah, good weekend, good Saturday for Sheffield. Sorry, which just keeps them in that hunt around that fourth to sixth spot, I think. So just keeps them a couple points off. And then the final game on that Saturday again was another double header. The first one was the Milton Keynes Lightning against the Telford Tigers, and that is a good response game, isn't it, Andrew? Obviously losing in that Thursday just to go out. And it seems like it was just quite a comfortable win. It could have been more than 5 apparently, but just shutting the Tigers down to limiting them just to 1 goal and getting a few goals yourself. And it sounded like Rio Grinnell Park had a really good game as well, getting 2 goals, Andrew, in the man of the match.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do when yeah, you lost the game or anything, or being a bit down and stuff. Is everyone says take a game at a time and stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, try and get your win, get your. They'd want to put a good performance up at home after losing that cup at home, and like you say, a couple of goals for Rio, a couple for Harry Gulliver as well. All yeah, good players across the whole team in there and stuff that can get goals for them,
I,
and
Tim,
yeah.
Tim Wallace did give it the old ear cup to the crowd. I don't know if that was towards the MK fans or just a celebration to say, "Come on, let's hear you" or whatever. But we know there's been a lot of posts in their forum this past week. It has been mental just scrolling through some of the stuff. But you don't listen to social media. If you're a player watching, just play your game. Most of the people on social media are just internet trolls. Right, the Sunday then, obviously, Solway beating Bees 6-3. The Knights then, Andrew, 5-2 against the Romford Raiders. Was this just a case of the Knights getting Boysa and Brown back, pretty much full strength team? And I think they went 4 or 5 nil up, 4 nil up in the game. Did they put in Harrison Walker as well?
Yeah, they did in the third,
Yeah,
but it was a sloppy pass that set Innis Gallagher away pretty well in the first thing, 1-on-1, just took the goal really, really well,
yeah.
and then yeah, it just leads from their power play. I mean, that's just awesome on the second, and then we have 3-0 down by the end of the first, so it was going to be an uphill battle from there on anyway. But
It
then
is
yeah,
exact.
they
Sorry, it
make
is
it fourth.
exactly what it's exactly what you want to do in Romford. If you want to get the crowd quiet, getting 3 early goals is probably the best way to go about it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly for Leeds, exactly what they should have done. But I don't know if then Leeds then decided to take the foot off the gas a little bit. Yeah, like you said, they did put Walker in goal. I think on pound the 46th minute, and that's when Romford got back into it a little bit. Power play goal
Yeah.
from Andrew Shufelt. Leeds to take the time out just to sort of try to steady the ship, but well, as we scored the second one, so for TJ, and then just trying to get back into it. But yeah, just as you thought, you might get into it, might have a chance to pull the goalie. Um, Fortunately, Zach took a penalty, and then well, you knew Leeds were going to win then, but they scored on that anyway as well.
Just to put the nail in
Just,
the coffin.
yeah, so I think yeah, and yeah, good on them. Yeah, 4 points for them,
4 points. That's a really good 4 point weekend, and I think they did catch Romford at quite a nice time. Obviously, coming off the back of that Thursday, I don't think Romford will be too annoyed. I think if they'd have lost on Thursday and then lost the 2 games, um, yeah, I think we would be saying different. But the fact they've got through to a cup final, I think credit to themselves. Lewisham did get a 5+ game. I know I spoke to you off camera, Andrew, and you said you didn't really see it. You've only heard some stuff from people, but be interesting to see if he does get a ban because um, you told me before if an import gets banned, you can't just bring your other import in. You have to wait, don't you, until that ban finishes before you bring another import in. Am I right?
Yeah, you're correct. It's then giving you a big advantage if you're allowed to
Yeah,
do that. It's like you're not really being penalised, are you, and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, and there was a Leeds player also got 5+ game as well. I think it was Bailey
Is it Bailey
Perry,
Perry?
I
Yeah,
think, yeah,
I think I
and
saw that.
stuff. Yeah, especially a bad hit and stuff there. The cross
Yeah,
check.
busy couple
So
weeks for Dops then, trying to sort
yeah,
out all these bans. But yeah, the Leeds Knights getting that 4 point weekend, that's huge. Good confidence going into Friday as well. And I think maybe that's why they took Gospel out as well. Give Harrison Walker a shot in a tough place to go to. And also gives Gospel a little rest, ready for that big game on Friday. The whole Seahawks just getting the job done. Dan 4-0 against Bristol. Bristol did have 40 shots on goal, so they did get a few more shots on that Sunday compared to the Saturday. But it sounds like Zamostra had a really solid game, getting that shut out. And the top guys just getting the job done. I don't know if you've seen the goal, Dan, from Sobchak.
No, haven't.
Nasty. Absolutely nasty. It's what you'd expect from the guy with the most points. Just drags the puck, dangles past the D man. It's one of them, right? He takes it round, pretends to go round the back of the goal, puts it behind Napier in, quickly taps it in. Honestly, you have to be so skilled and patient to be able to make that goal. You're going to have to watch it after, Andrew and Dan, because it was a very, very nice goal. I expect he'll probably be on like one of the goal of the weeks. But yeah, just business resumed. And Bobby Chamberlain, Dan, we've spoke about him a lot in the past couple of weeks. Another 2 goals. He got a goal in Swindon as well. I think he's on a goal streak at the moment for the Seahawks. But he is just he's been phenomenal this season, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, 100%. He's just taken a step up from all his other years. I think that, like we've said in other podcasts, I think giving him that C was probably one of the best things that could have happened. He's really like settled his game down. But the thing is with him as well, he's still got that game about him. He's still a guy that's not afraid to instigate a fight. He's not afraid to sort of go up to a guy and offer him out. It's just like he's just a captain that can score you goals. He can throw hits. He can get under people's skin. He can pump the team up.
Yeah.
He is this season. He is being the perfect captain because he's doing it all, and that's exactly what Hull want. Obviously, they're a team that do like they like to play a physical game. They like to thrive off obviously getting physical games and sort of pumping each other up by that. And I think for a guy like Bobby, I think that's perfect role for him. And the fact that he's putting in the goals this season is even better.
Yeah, he's got 9 goals in 5 games, his last 5 games. So just shows how much he is impacting that whole team in a good way. And some positive news for them. I think they've got Hodgkinson back now for the rest of the season. Obviously, he's got his other job as well, but he's able to play the rest of the season, I believe. Spraggan's in and out with Billingham. It depends when Billingham plays. And apparently, Lee Haywood might be back next weekend, which will be absolutely huge for them because he has been a massive loss for them on that second line, just shutting it down. Even though he is 35 years old, he is still one of the top D men in this league. And then we finish off with the final game of the weekend. Oh, sorry, there was 2 more games. We'll go with the one I was at first, and that was probably Swindon's best performance of the whole season, the most complete performance. And I'm not joking. We were unbelievable. Peterborough is not an easy place to go to. I think they've lost twice at their place all season to Romford and Sheffield, I believe, Andrew. Because Romford beat them a couple of weeks ago, 5-4. Am I right?
yeah, we beat them up. I can't remember the score, but yeah, we did have beaten them.
And then Sheffield beat them at the start. We obviously lost some earlier on at their place 4-3. Peterborough get the first goal on the power play, and then from then on, just Wildcats just played 4-line hockey, just rotating through it. Shout out to Jacob Minter. What a performance. I know he's playing with the Slough Jets. I know he's one of the top D men in that National One, but getting that chance to come into the Swindon team next to Jamie Smith, I thought they complemented each other so well. He didn't look out of place whatsoever. And I could definitely see him being a future National League player. He's definitely good enough. And he got his first point for the Wildcats as well. But yeah, Jake Britnell had an unreal game. 2 goals, 2 assists. He seems to have one over Levine. He scores a lot of goals against Hayden Levine, and I think they played. I think they played against each other or together back in Manchester, I believe. So yeah, Jake was really good. Malash was really good. And it was 6-1 after the second period, so we just shut it down. Josh got hit with a big hit from Huff. It was a fair check, but in a 6-1 game, wasn't really a fan of it. So Josh had to go off, but hopefully he's all right. And then Huff actually had to go off himself for Peterborough's second goal. Hunt blasted it, hit Huff straight in the hand or on the wrist, and he did actually have to go off. So hopefully it's nothing serious because he's been one of the most exciting players in this league. Obviously, he was the top goal scorer before Gardeners decided to score eight. But Huff has been so good this season. So hopefully it's not too serious and he can come back. But yeah, just an unbelievable weekend for the Wildcats. I thought they were really good on Saturday, Dan, but they were even better on Sunday and probably our most complete performance of the season. So was very happy with that. And then the final game of the whole weekend, Telford Tigers 2-0 down against the Lightning. Again, Lightning were 2-0 up. Spadafor getting the goal. I know a lot of Milton Keynes fans were happy about that. But then Telford just battled back into it, didn't they, Dan? Luca getting a goal, Danny Rose, and then Bryn with a dagger with 10 minutes to go. And I don't want to say it, but Milton Keynes, they've bottled another away game, haven't they? That's been the big struggle of them this season, Dan, and they just cannot get over that away game hump, can they?
No, that's what we've always said. The MK Lightning would be unstoppable if they could win away. If they could win away, I don't think no one would be able to catch them.
No.
Because of their home performances as well. Um, but yeah, it's weird. It's so weird that it's still going on because it was obviously all going on last season as well, and it's not like it's a new thing.
Yeah.
But I will say Telford do always seem to have their number at home.
Yeah, they
You
do.
saw it last year as well. They always seem to score those late goals again. They're always a close game against MK and Telford in Telford, and Telford always seems to get that the last minute goal or like really late in the period, just to sort of and then just shut that game down. And yeah, it's tough. I mean, Spadafor obviously got a check to the head.
Oh man, I'll
Tim
quickly mention
Wallace
this because
did talk in the interview about not taking silly penalties on the Saturday night, and then Spadafor goes and scores a goal, and then he goes and gives away a check to the head.
we were
So
talking about this, Dan. Me, you, and Charlie. It sounds like he was having a good game. He got his goal. Lightning were in control, and you've always said when Lightning are playing well, Spadafor's playing well. When Lightning are in control, Spadafor's in control, and he plays like the import. When it just switches and it's not going Lightning's way, for some reason, I don't know what it is. He just does the moment get a bit too much for him? Does his physicality just he just goes over the top and he gets a check to the head penalty with 5 minutes to go. You can't do that. You can't do that at 3-2 down and then Telford on a 5 minute power play to just kill off the game at 3-2 and Milton Keynes can't get back into it because they're having to penalty kill. And you don't want any player doing that, but when it's your import doing that, it just can't happen. And it's a shame for him because it sounded like Andrew, he was having a good game. He got that goal and was part of them big reason why they went 2-0 up.
Yeah, they're the players you want on the ice. Your imports. You bring them in. You pay them a lot to do the business for you. And if they're going to be in the penalty box, then just yeah, injuring the team really kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Especially with Lawrence out as well, him and Wallace being the only two imports, and who knows how many. I know he's probably over the penalty point threshold now because he's got quite a lot, so that's at least one game ban, and then we don't know how many the check to the head penalty will be. But credit
it's
to Telford making that comeback 2-0 down. We know, as you said, Dan, we know how good they can be in their own barn. And doing that without a couple of the imports. I think Skaleski was back, but they've had import injuries as well. I think Silverthorne is still playing as well, so I don't think he expected to play this many games this season. I thought he must have thought, oh, I'll be on the bench with Tommy just doing some assistant coaching, but he's had to play half the season. So credit to the Tigers, and if they'd have lost that, Solway would have been quite a lot of points in front of them. So it just keeps them within that playoff spot kind of battle. But yeah, a really good weekend of hockey, Andrew, and hopefully similar this weekend, obviously with the semi-final and the games. Obviously, we're gonna interview Ollie and talk about the preview and stuff. But before we go, Andrew, do you have any predictions for this Leeds Sheffield game? And who's your little ones to watch for it? Sorry, I've put you on the spot. I didn't really warn you about it. If you had to quickly choose a player and
I
team.
mean, I'm going to go gospel. He's always going to go well for Leeds, and I think because they're midweek games, obviously Steel Dogs will have their elite players as
Yeah.
well. So someone like Vinny Ulrich, he's pretty decent. I think he'll do he'll do good and stuff. So I'll say those two.
Yeah, I think both teams will be full strength, as you said. With it being a midweek game, I think Sheffield will have all of those boys who are loitering around that two-way system. So, yeah, we appreciate you hopping on with us, Andrew, to review this weekend and the Cup semi-final, and we'll definitely have you back on ready for those Romford finals, whether that will be against Sheffield or Leeds. But yeah, we'll cut now to the Oli Endicott interview and the preview for the Sheffield Steel Dogs. We hope you've enjoyed this part. Let's get on to the next part. Oh, and welcome back, Charlie. Do you want to just quickly introduce who we got?
Welcome back onto the podcast, Mr. Regular, Oli Endicott from Swindon. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. How are you?
Wow, you say regular, Charlie. You were our first ever guest, I think, first ever player interview. So
Yeah,
it's been over a year now.
yeah.
Seems like ages. We've had a few of your mates on as well.
I remember when you guys first asked me, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? You getting it first started, up and running. And now you've had like, I don't even know, but I've been following a few of them and got some good ones come out. So yeah, a good
Oh,
watch.
appreciate that. But we're here to talk about, wow, bit about previewing the semi-final on Friday. But we'll start with the season. How have you found it? Because I think it's been a bit of an up and down season for yourself, but the last couple of
Yeah.
weeks, I think you've been really, really good.
Yeah, the start, I think when I started in Nottingham skating with them for a bit for like 2, 3 weeks, and I think that helped me a lot. And I came into the season in the pre-season, I think I was playing really well, and then I started off pretty strong. And obviously we've got 10 like good forwards in Leeds. So we're always like rotating in and out. Lines have been a bit different and we've have having to adapt to that and you know I think I guess like less ice time, sometimes got more ice time. It depends with bands and how we're playing and stuff like that. And really I think I've been a bit up and down this year, but like you said, I've been quite happy with my performances over the last 2, 3 weeks now, and I think Ryan's been really happy with me, and I'm slowly, I think, going back on the up, which is what I needed. So it's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's one of them where I think before right at the start of the season we saw you in that first pre-season game. It was you, Innes, and Finn, and you were just that third line. And me, Charlie, and Dan were saying that is going to cause havoc this season. And you guys have been playing together again the past few weeks, and specifically that game against Swindon. I think you three were the best three on the ice. And yeah, do you think do you guys just complement each other so well, don't you?
Yeah, I haven't really played with Innes much before this year. We played a
Yeah.
bit last year, but he's come in and like he's just a big, like strong, powerful. He's got a great shot. He's fast. He reads the game well, and I just think like for some reason we've come in and we all just bounce off each other really well and play a really good third line role. And as for Finn, like wow, he's having a great year. Like he's got like I don't even know like 30 odd points. He's fitting well on the PP. He fits well in on our line. He has that skill. He can make a play. He can also score goals. And I think, like you said, we all just complement each other massively. I think we help our team in doing the little things, but also bringing some points recently, which I
Yeah.
think is massive for us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go on, Chaz.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's fair to say the league's probably taken a step up this year. I think most teams have got more competitive besides maybe bees in the recent weeks. But Leeds have got that slight bit more depth in their team this year. You've got seven D men now. It seems like Bailey's in every game at the moment, and then
Yeah.
you've got 10 forwards plus you've had Daneko come up when he's needed to. So how has it been maybe having that extra bit to the roster this season?
Yeah, no, it's good. I think that our practices are better. Like we've got more guys. We actually have like four lines that we bring to training. We've got some good young kids coming up as well. And
Yeah.
I think like everyone's fighting for a spot on the team and Ryan's made it pretty clear, like if you're going, you play. And if you're not, you kind of sit. So like he'll just play anyone who's playing well. So, it's good to keeps you on your toes and makes the practice more intense. And, you got to really earn your spot on the team.
I believe you got man of the match on Saturday. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, how was this weekend? Obviously, Romford coming off the back of beating the Lightning away, in good form, making that final. A tough weekend to come into, but you guys got the 4 point weekend, and I think you got 8 to 10 wins in a row now.
Yeah, honestly, I just take each game as it comes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know obviously like Friday we got a massive game, but yeah, like you said, we all knew that MK were playing Romford in MK, and I'm probably not the only one that thought MK might have won that. And
yeah,
I personally didn't think 1-0 was a good enough lead for Romford, but I put
yeah,
my hands up to them. They played very, very well, and that was a bit of a like eye opener for this weekend. And I think in a way it helped us because we have to really show like we have to play, like we can't take our foot off the gas here. We got to give everything, otherwise they're not just going to roll over and die. Like they will keep going. And on it was our teddy bear toss game as well on
yeah.
Saturday, so a little bit of nerves in the back of mind I think as well. And obviously going 1-0 down wasn't ideal, but Matty Barron again, massive goal, got us momentum, and it was big time as well with like 30, 40 seconds left in the second period to get it to 1-1. And
Mhm.
I think Saturday, I think me, Finn, and Innes really did play really well. And we were unlucky not to get on the score sheet that night. Well, I think Finn might have had an assist, but not as a line, I guess. But I think if we keep playing how we've been playing, it will just keep coming because we've had some good games recently.
Well, you had to play without Brown and Waser as well on that Saturday, and you guys
Yeah,
pulled through and got a solid little win. Obviously, Gospel doing gospel type stuff in that game.
always, always.
Let's turn our heads to Friday then. And it's a cup game. And the last couple seasons, wow, Leeds have found it quite tough in the cup. I think it's just 2 games, isn't it? It's a two game shootout, and it's a bit different this season because you guys have got that first game at home. Do you think that's going to be quite a big advantage, just trying to get that few goal lead going into that game and try and just take a lead into that second leg, which maybe the last couple seasons you've had to try and get fight back into games?
Yeah, yeah. I think this weekend is massive. Friday is we've got to be better because over the last couple of years we all know Ryan knows like we haven't been good enough in them cup games, and I don't know what it is, whether it's nerves or what, because I don't know. I still treat it like a normal game.
Yeah,
I think everyone else does, but for some reason we just can't win. I don't know why, but I think Sheffield, they're a good team. They've been playing well as well
yeah,
recently, but I think we've got everyone back now from bans and being healthy. So hopefully we have a good week of practice, and we've just got to play how we can play because we can beat any team in this league if we
yeah,
play how we can play. We just have to have three lines rolling and just hopefully, yeah, like you said, get a few goals up, take that to Sheffield because obviously the ice pad's completely different there, bigger ice and stuff like that. So I think we're better at home, and if we can get a few goals ahead, that'll be massive for when we play them next.
yeah.
Mhm.
Go on,
And
Chaz.
Ollie, you strike me as the type of player who quite enjoys the big games, the big occasions. You've had some success in them at Coventry, probably the biggest big game you've played. And how do you find as a player what it's like playing in the cup semi-finals, the cup finals?
Yeah, for me personally, I'm a little bit nervous all the time when we're playing big games, but I think I do thrive in bigger games just because the way I play, I feel like how I play at 8-0 up or 4 or 5 goals up, it's a bit like pointless. So sometimes I'm a bit like, what am I doing running around a bit? But big games, I think I can really step up and do what I do to help the team, whether that's get energy or make a good play or, just get the boys going, just try and be that guy and do my job really.
As you
Mhm.
said, it's the first time in a couple of weeks where I think you've just got a full team now. You can roll it through. You're going to have that big crowd behind you on that Friday, and it's also got replaced with that league game, so you don't have to worry almost about it being a three-game weekend. You
Yeah,
can just
exactly.
send it on that Friday.
Yeah, because I think that's helped massively. Because obviously, fair play to Romford. Like obviously, they played Thursday,
Yeah.
and then they played Saturday in Leeds, which I think is quite a tough place to play in Leeds. And then obviously back there on Sunday, where they've obviously had injuries with Miller not being playing and stuff like that. So I think, to be fair to Romford, they had a good weekend and they made it a big battle this weekend.
They've set you up for that Friday, which I think it's just set you up really well because as you said, Romford are always going to come at you, and to go through both of them games and get the 4 points, eight unbeaten, just going into that Friday can only fill it with confidence. And you've also got Brownie as well, who loves a big game, and he's going to be back in
Yeah,
the team.
yeah, of course. He's massive for us, especially in all these big games, as everyone in the league knows. Like he will probably put money on it that he will probably score a big goal or make a big play
Yeah,
because that's what he does.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Go on, Chaz. Any more
One
questions?
one of the players I just wanted to ask about who I think's particularly stepped up his game this season is Matty Barron, obviously picking up points this year. And he's scoring a lot of goals. Like I think he's on 21 goals now. What do you think's changed for Matty, or is it just been this year he's kind of just had that maybe bit he's learned the league, I guess.
Yeah, I think like he's just a great human being, great guy, and I think he just brings like every that onto the ice. Like he scores massive goals, he makes amazing plays. He's a great person. He does everything for the team. Like that's all he cares about. He doesn't care. Like if I asked him how many goals he had, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know how many
Yeah,
points he has. He doesn't care. All he cares about is the win. And I think that helps our team massive because having like that unselfishness, it just shows like that we're here to win that big trophy at the end. He's not worried about the little things, but he has been phenomenal this year. And I think along with a lot of other guys in our team, like Bizanet as well, like he's
Oh,
been massive for us this year. Biz come
big
in first season with Leeds and he's just took that role as, being an older guy. Like I sit next to Biz in the room. He's helped me massive this year. Uh just all round off ice, on ice, like just a great guy. So I think all our guys have stepped up this year.
What
Mhm.
what is it about Biz? Because I don't think Leeds have really had a player like Biz who's just an all-out playmaker. He can snipe it as well. And as you said, with it being quite a younger changing room, it's nice to have one of the older guys to come in and teach you younger guys, yourself, Innes, Finn as well, who's scoring a lot of goals, just even more about the game.
Yeah, like he's obviously played at very good levels, like his career. But I think biggest thing for Biz when he came in is just like what he brings to the team. Like you said, like he can pretty much do it all, and he reads the game so well.
Yeah.
He like calms us down. He can help us in the room. He just brings so many attributes to the team. Where I think that is probably one of the best pickups we've had over the summer for Leeds this year.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I do want
No,
to ask about the Christmas jerseys. Obviously, wearing them on Saturday. I think it was over 700 teddies, which is
Yeah,
ridiculous. I think Swindon had like 426, which is not too bad considering we
yeah,
only have one side of the crowd. And yeah, just the support from Leeds. I know everyone loved those jerseys as well. What
yeah.
do you think
No,
about
I was a bit unsure when I first saw them on like Instagram and stuff, but in person, I actually thought they were quite
them?
nasty. Like
I liked them.
the green, I thought they were cool. Yeah, I mean the teddies is like amazing. Like all the support from the fans is really good. Like 726. It was a bit carnage trying to clean them all up. It took a while, but
the promotion
you
was
know,
sick for the teddy bear toss, though.
Yeah.
I thought
yeah,
they did an unreal job for that one.
yeah, they have been really good. The media team, Tom's doing a great job. So yeah, it was good, and the support's massive. And I think tomorrow, we're a few of the lads are going to the charities, and we're giving the teddy bears out to all the
Oh,
children there
nice.
anyway. So that'll be nice.
Nice one. If I had to put you on a spot before you end Charlie with your question, a little ones to watch then for this semi-final. Who's if you had to pick one player in the team, a little ones to watch across the
Once,
two
yeah.
legs.
Well, I think there's obvious ones, but I think I'll go a bit out the blue. I think the Oh, that's tough. I
Yeah,
think I don't
sorry,
want
I
to go.
put
I
you on
don't
the
want to.
spot here.
Nah, I don't just want to go obvious and be like Brownie because he's
Yeah,
obviously be massive and Matty in that. But I think like undercover, he doesn't get enough credit. Is like Bo. I think he has been massive for us because
yeah,
obviously everyone knows Molly's great and he plays well every night. But I also think Bo plays probably 20 to 25 minutes every game and
yeah.
he's solid. And he is due a goal. So big players show up in big games. So I reckon he's got one this weekend.
I think people forget he's only 21.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
actually
Yeah,
a joke, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. He's
No, I think
probably well, he's British. I don't know how he is British, so we'll take it. But like, yeah, he's only 21. The British D man, like he plays a massive part on our team, and he is very, very good.
Yeah,
So I'll say
nice. I
Bo.
like that pick. Go on, Chaz.
yeah. So before this big weekend and obviously big games coming up, what's your message to the Knights fans?
Oh, just be loud, bring the support, and yeah, let's hopefully get a big win for Friday and roll on to the next game.
Nice one. I think I'm going to be there Friday. I might be doing some commentary, so
Oh, nice.
make sure you get another goal.
Yeah, well, I will
And
try
I'll
my
be able to
best.
do some commentary over it.
Sounds
Nice one,
good.
Ollie. Appreciate you hopping on. And good luck for the semi-final, mate.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Nice one. Hello, welcome back. Thank you very much, Ollie, for hopping on for a little interview slash little preview for Friday. And we're going to move on to it. It's just me and Charlie for this little segment. I'm going to edit it all together. But yeah, Charlie, the semi-final on Friday. I think you'll be probably be watching it on the stream. It's a big game
Mhm.
for Leeds. Obviously, the cup has been something which they've kind of struggled with the last two seasons. Obviously, they made the final couple years ago. They lost to Peterborough. They then lost to Hull last year in the semi-final. So it's definitely something they'll want to try and win this year.
Yeah, it's a big game for both teams. Sheffield starting their new era, and they've made it to a cup semi final. And Leeds, this is kind of the one trophy which they could never seem to get hold of. They even lost to us, didn't they? Did you mention that or?
What
Um,
to Leeds in the final the year
yeah,
before? Yeah,
yeah. So they've been in it all 3 seasons as Leeds Knights, but they've never won it. They've always made it to the semis or the final, and it's kind of that thing where I actually think it probably plays in their heads a little bit. It becomes a little mental game. Oh, this is the one trophy we can't win. Oh, we lost to Hull last year. We lost to Phantoms in the final the year before that, and Swindon in the final. So, yeah, I think it's a massive game for Leeds, and I think for Sheffield, underdog story again, a bit like Romford. They aren't favourites going into this tie, but Sheffield have got a new era. And the one thing Sheffield have an advantage of is every single two-way will probably be playing.
yeah, they will. Obviously, Leeds have opted to go with the home leg first. Now, we did mention it quickly with Ollie about having that home leg first and trying to get an advantage, and I actually think it's a really good decision. It hasn't worked the last 2 years. Obviously, them having it the second leg, they've been too many goals behind. So it's a chance for them this time, Charlie, for them to just try and get a lead going into the second leg. And no disrespect to Sheffield, I really hope they're able to sell a lot of tickets. Hopefully, some of the Steelers fans come on that New Year's Eve. But it's not as much as an away atmosphere as a Hull or as a Swindon or as a Peterborough. So if they can get a lead after this first leg, Leeds, I think they will really back themselves to go and get the job done. Even if it's a draw after this first leg, they're obviously going to back themselves in the second leg. But I think this first leg at home gives them a chance to just go into that second leg with the lead, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's interesting because I think I'm surprised I haven't seen more on Steel Dogs' social media about this cup final because I think it is a good
Semi-final.
opportunity, semi-final, sorry, to bring some Steelers fans in. I think it's early on a New Year's Day, so if you're from Sheffield area, you can kind of go to the game and you can get home with plenty of time for New Year's celebrations,
Yeah.
etc. I think it's at 1 p.m., isn't it? And I think it could be one of them games where I remember the pre-season game, Leeds versus Sheffield, we watched, and there was a good fan base there, and there was some good noise to it. And I'm hoping for Sheffield that's the case, but for Leeds' case, I think I understand why they've picked the leg first. I personally would always want the second leg in my rink. That's the way I'd always want it. But I understand why they've done that because you are right in the sense of it's not as of a away atmosphere as most rinks. If you're going to Milton Keynes away, I think you always want the second leg because Milton Keynes away, wow, Romford didn't need it. But you know what I mean. Besides the point, I think it's a scary rink to come to. They'll create a really intense, fierce atmosphere. But I just think it's an exciting little tie. I think I like how they're both northern teams. They've got a bit of a rivalry, and I think it's exciting.
Yeah, as you said, the advantage for Sheffield is that because it is a midweek game, they will get Finn Ulrich, they will get Bjorkley Nordstrom being able to play. The one little thing I'm not sure on is which goal he's going to play, because obviously Ben Norton's just come back from his injury, but Crow has been playing quite well, so be interesting to see who gets the nod. Charlie, who do you reckon might get the nod for the semi-final game?
I think I'll give it to Crow because he's played consistently recently. I think Ben Norton only had his first game back. He was good in that game, and I wouldn't be against playing Ben Norton, but I think in a cup semi final, it's good to play the goalie who's match fit, who's 100% ready, who hasn't got any niggles. Assuming he doesn't, I obviously don't know behind the scenes, but I probably would go Crow just because he's had a week, but then they can play him this weekend and they can play Norton the next couple of weeks, and then Norton could start the second leg. I don't know. So
Yeah, yeah. I think it's an interesting one. Obviously Friday night is actually replacing the league game, which has been rescheduled for later on in the season. So it means that they can go all out for this game and not worry that they've got another two games on top of this one as well. A little ones to watch then. I know Ollie gave his little ones to watch, but Charlie, who's your ones to watch for the tie? You said Spadafor in the other one, which in the first leg he did give away quite a few
I don't know if I
penalties and
want to
cost a
go
goal, but
obvious or not. But the guy I can't get out of my head, and I'm gonna have to say him, is the ex Steel Dog, which is Matt Bissonnette.
oh
It's a quite obvious one, but I love ex players going against their former teams and teammates as well. He's got a whole lot of that decor and a couple forwards. Obviously, he played with last year and the year before and the year before, and he actually won this cup for Steel Dogs. And can he bring it home? Well, not the same cup exactly, but you know what I mean. It's a similar cup. It may be the same cup, but he won a cup competition with Steel Dogs, and I wonder whether he'll be the difference, which maybe Steel Dogs go, oh, the former player curse is coming in. Because he's going to be huge, especially on that big ice pad in Sheffield. He knows the rink. It's not an unfamiliar rink for him. He is used to that rink, and I think that's a big advantage for Leeds. So I'm going to go for the former Steel Dog in Matt Bissonnette.
yeah, that's a good one. I am gonna go for that third line for Leeds is just cooking too much. So I've got to choose one of them. I'm not gonna go Ollie just because we had him on for an interview. So I'm gonna go with Finn Braden. He's been unreal this season. If we're just looking at the points he's got this season, sorry, bear with me for 2 seconds. So Finn Braden this season has got 32 points in 26 games at just 19 years old. So I'm going to choose Finn Braden as my kind of ones to watch for this one. I think that third line is going to be a big handful for the Steel Dogs. And as Ollie said, Aldridge is starting to play that third line at the start of every period, and they've managed to get a couple goals right at the start. So yeah, I'm going to go with Finn Braden. And then looking at the rest of the weekend, Charlie, it is a jam-packed weekend. Peterborough have the Bees twice. We're hoping that the Bees can hopefully get a couple players back. Hopefully Max Wright will be back for them as well. So that's a big weekend for the Bees, but also for Peterborough because they want to keep up with that pack, don't they? They want to try and if just like Solway did, they just need to get that 4 point weekend, don't they?
Yes, Peterborough will be disappointed if they get any less than 4 points. And Bees, they love playing an underdog story, but it's particularly hard to play the underdog story at the moment when you've got seven forwards and 5D or 4D. So yeah, it's a challenge for Bees, but they're the type of team I think they have beaten Peterborough at home before.
Yeah.
And if they can get Max Wright in, I'd probably play Max Wright at home and rest him away. Yeah, I think they've just got to pick the game they want to win and go for it in that game if they are short benched again. But if they can get nine forwards and 5D, I think they can go full out both nights.
Yeah. Solway are at home against Hull. Obviously, Solway just come off the back of their 4 point weekend against the Bees. That's a big game for Hull, just trying to get that away win. And then the MK Lightning Swindon double header Now we did just get news on Dops because we're recording this in the morning, and Dops come out early this morning that Spadafor will be able to play. It did get given as a 5 minute, but it's not any ban, so Spadafor will be in the game. That'll be a really good battle. Just full two teams going at it. I know they don't have Lawrence, but Norris is not a bad replacement for Lawrence whatsoever, is he, Charlie? Yeah,
They've
it's
only
going to be
got they've
such a
only got
battle.
14 forwards, so
What's that?
yeah, they've only got 14 forwards, so they
Oh
have
yeah.
got guys to come in. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited. These are the weekends I hate and love the most. Obviously, I have a bit of a rivalry with MK as a club. I'm not a huge fan of them. I chirp them a little bit on Twitter when I get the chance, but it's good banter, isn't it? I'm hoping. I think for me as a Swindon fan, I want 2 points out this weekend. Anything above 2 points would be really really nice. It's tough to go to Milton Keynes and grab points, but I think it's going to be an exciting tie, and I was looking at the lines this morning they played, and they've got a casual top line of Ross Venus, Jordan Cowney, and Sean Norris. Yeah, that's a line which all have played for GB in the last 3 years or something. So it's good fun, isn't it? One played
Ryan
against
Wells.
Guard in
Ryan
the
Wells
summer.
has defended Owen Sobchak on last Saturday. He's defended against Luke Ferrara, Huff, and Lackenden very well. Now he's probably got the hardest challenge of trying to defend that top line you just
What I
mentioned.
find mental about that line as well, we're terrified of it. Well, not terrified, but it's the line where you come up against it and you're like, flip me. And it's all bricked. There's not even an import on it. That is a fully bricked line, which is mental to think. And it is credit to MK's depth. They are such a depthy team, and you're like Rutkiss and Gulliver on a third line, huh? Like, but no, I think I'm really happy with how Swindon are playing at the moment. I've only seen the highlights of the last two games because I was away, but we're on some good roll of form, and I'm confident in these boys to get a result in one of the games at least.
Yeah, last time against MK was a really good game actually. We only lost 3-2. Could have gone either way. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. As you said, I think we need 2 points from this weekend minimum. Just split it. If we can get a point away in Milton Keynes, that would be great as well. Sheffield against Telford, that's always a really good battle on the Saturday. And then Bristol Romford as a double header. Bristol will be looking to bounce back from losing twice at the weekend, and same with Romford actually. Sorry, they lost twice to Leeds, but they did get that cup final spot. And then Peterborough Bees, as we mentioned, and then the little derby on the Sunday, the Hull Seahawks against the Leeds Knights. So yeah, a very jam-packed weekend. One I'm looking forward to very much. And yeah, a lot of juicy fixtures. But yeah, let us know in the comments your score predictions. Who's your ones to watch for this cup game on Friday? As I said, I think I'll be at the game. Well, I will be at the game. Touch wood, if I can get transport there, because my car's just in for a checkup. But hopefully, I'll be doing commentary as well. So I'll let everyone know on the social media. But I think I might be doing commentary. So if you are watching it, or if you don't know what to do on Friday night, do get the stream. I think it's only like £15, and it's going to be a great game. And you're hopefully going to get some good commentary from me as well, whether I'm on main comms, co-comms. But yeah, I'll let everyone know on the social medias if I am doing it 100% or not. This was a big episode, probably a long one. Thank you, Andrew, for hopping on. Dan, as always, Charlie, Oli Endicott. Yeah, loads to talk about, but we appreciate everyone listening in. Make sure to follow our socials at Max Talk Hockey. Anything to add, Charlie?
Um, it's going to be a good weekend of hockey. There's some good teams, and hopefully my last cooks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Right, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.